Hello, in this video I will go over factoring the difference of two squares and when to use it. So now we're going to factor using difference of two squares. So what is the difference of two squares? It's basically this rule right here. Okay, so it's a squared minus b squared equals a parentheses a plus b times a minus b. So basically you're usually going to get a polynomial that looks like the left side, and you have to make it look like the right. That's all it is. So you just got to figure out your a value and b value. So yeah. So when can you use the difference of two squares? Must have exactly two terms, nothing more and nothing less. Rule 2 says the highest power must equal to 2. Number 3 states that it must have a minus sign in the middle. So an example would be y squared minus 81 because it has exactly two terms, right? No, it's not 3, it's 2. The highest power is 2, and then there's a minus in the middle. So that's a big clue that you should use difference of two squares. How to factor using difference of two squares. Figure out what your, so here are the steps. Figure out what your a and b value must be. And then once you got your a and b value, make it look like the right side of the rule. So I will explain that when we do the example. Okay, so let's do example 1. Direction says factor using difference of two squares, and we have y squared minus 81. So can we actually use difference of two squares? Yes, there's a two terms and there's a minus and then there's a square. So what is the difference square? I'll write the rule again. It's a square minus b square equals to a minus b times a minus a plus b. Okay, so as you can see, our equation looks like the left side. We just got to make it look like the right side. So what do you think our a value be? What do you think your a value is going to be? So y squared is actually a squared. So what I like to think of it, what number or what letter, in our case, it will have to be a letter, when squared gives you y squared. That would be y, right? Because when you square y, you get y squared. And then what do you think our b value is? So don't worry about the minus. That's just part of the problem. Just worry about the 81. So what number, in our case, it has to be a number, when squared gives you 81. It would be 9, right? Because 9 squared, 9 times 9 is 81. Good. So once you have your a and your b, that's like the hardest part. Make it look like the right side. So it's a minus b, so it's y minus 9, right? Our a value is y and my b value is 9. And then a plus b, so it's y plus 9. That's it. So it's all about just figuring out your a value and your b value. Okay. Let's go ahead and pause a moment, copy down, and we're going to move on to example 2. Oops, that was example 2. Here we are. Here example 2 is 4x squared minus 9y squared. So can we use perfect squares? Yes, because there's exactly two terms and there's a minus in the middle and then there's a power 2. So I'm going to write the rule again. It's a squared minus b squared equals to a plus b times a minus b. So as you can see, our problem looks like the left side. We just got to make it look like the right. So we got to figure out our a and our b. So a is related to this term, 4x squared. So in our case, it's a number and a letter that we have to worry about. So what number and letter when squared gives you 4x squared? Well, let's start with the 4. What number when squared or times itself twice gives you 4? 2, right? And then the x squared, what letter when squared gives you x squared? It's just x, right? And then your b is related to the second term, 9y squared. So it's just like a, we need a number and a letter. So start with a 9. What number when squared gives you 9, or what number times itself twice gives you 9? That would be 3. And then y squared. What letter when squared gives you y squared? Just y. Okay, so once you have your a and your b, which is the hardest part, make it look like the right. So it's going to be a plus b, so that our a value is 2x, plus my b value is 3y. And then it's a minus b, so my a value is 2x, and then my b value minus my b value is 3y. Okay, so that's that. And go ahead and pause for a moment to copy down the rules. Okay, yeah, we're gonna split this into 2 parts. There's 2 more examples I want to go over and then a quiz. So I'll see you then.